Hello, friends. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Fort Worth Roots. You can find Fort Worth Roots on all your favorite social media platforms, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify, all of them. Social media for TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all of that's Fort Worth Roots. And we do have a YouTube channel. Most of these recordings do have video with them. And you can find them by going to YouTube and searching for Fort Worth Roots. Coming up this Friday, July 15th, the Funky Panther podcast is putting on their 100th episode celebration. They're going to be out at Panther Island Brewing. It's going to be a great time. Says we will podcast live from Panther Island Brewing at 6 p.m. with our buddy and TFP OG Zeus. And then the party starts around 7. We'd love to see you there to show us some love. This has been a wild ride, and we're just getting started. So that, again, is the Funky Panther podcast, and these guys are throwing their 100th episode release party at Panther Island Brewing. If y'all got a chance to get out there and show your support, you should do it. The Funky Panther has been named the top Fort Worth podcast 3 years in a row by Fort Worth Weekly, and we're excited to see what they got cooking for us in the future. It's a great group of guys. I've been hanging out with them on the side, and just really like what they got going on. You guys will too. If you haven't checked it out, they stream on all the services too. Just look for the Funky Panther. And then go ahead and mark it on your calendar, September 10th. That's a Saturday. The weather is going to be perfect. Fort Worth Roots Podcast is having their 100th episode release party. It's going to be out at Pouring Glory. That is a really badass little venue close to Main at South Side off of Main Street here in Fort Worth, Texas. It's going to be from 1 to 6 p.m. We're going to have a pop-up market that's being orchestrated by Mickey Wendell, the one that puts together the Artful Village. So she's taking care of that. As of right now, we are going to have 3 bands on the outdoor stage. And if nothing changes, as of right now, we've got Richard Keller with Itchy Richie and the Burning Sensations. We've got Late to the Station with Carrie and Paul Smith. And we've got Max Cusin from The Gray. That will all be there Saturday, September the 10th to play for you out there at Pouring Glory. Scott, the owner of Pouring Glory, is putting together a special menu for us. And he's even talked about doing some discount drink prices. But anyway you look at it, this is going to be an excellent event. I'm really excited about this. I've had a lot of help from some very incredible people. Joe Guzman's actually going to be there running sound for us. I mean, it's all the connections we've made over the last 2.5 years are showing up for this event to make sure that it's a success. And we got a lot more things that we're working the details out on to make it even better for you. I don't like telling you stuff until I know it's for certain. Another one of the things that we're kind of working out, and this is very not in stone yet, but we're going to try to make sure that the majority of you that come out get a t-shirt with the Fort Worth Roots information on it. We're working on designs and funding and all that good stuff. So it's going to be a good event. And I am throwing this for you, the listeners. This is a big thank you for everybody that's helped us get to the point that we're at now. The show is picking up a lot of steam, and it's because of people like you listening to the show. So this is a big old thank you event. So don't forget your thank you. It will be ready Saturday, September the 10th at Pouring Glory from 1 to 6. Like I said, it's going to be great weather. Everything's going to go perfect. There will be no issues. I shouldn't say stuff like that. I'm jinxing the hell out of myself. But with the talent and the help that I'm getting from the amazing people that are supporting the show, this is going to be a good time. So mark it on your calendar now so you don't forget. I don't want you planning something else on that date. That's the day you got to come out and get your big thank you. If you guys listened to last week's episode with Mark Spitz, you know that we now have sponsorship. Roofing Solutions by Darren Houck is our most recent sponsor. You can find his information at roofingsolutionsHouck.com, and that will be in the show notes. They, of course, do every kind of roofing you can think of, commercial and residential. And right now, Darren is currently in the works to try to put together a special incentive program to get you guys to give him a call so that he can come out, take a look at your roof, and just kind of introduce himself. During last week's episode, I told you a lot about Darren Houck and why this is a good fit. But as we move forward, gaining sponsorship for the show, we're looking for people that have an excellent reputation with the community. Somebody that's very highly respected by the people that they've worked with. And Roofing Solutions by Darren Houck fits that bill. As we continue to grow the Fort Worth Roots podcast, it's going to be important for us to find sponsorship. But we're not going to just accept sponsorship from anybody that's willing to write us a check. They've got to be somebody that is respected by the community and is invested in helping out our neighbors. North Texas is one of the most awful places for roofs. We've earned that reputation over the years, from the hailstorms and the high winds and everything else. Right now, we're kind of in between hell seasons, so people aren't thinking about their roofs. But these high temperatures can also play hell on your roof. Still not a bad time to have a qualified, trusted roofer from your local community come out there and take a look at the thing that's covering your most valuable asset. For all of you homeowners that have already gone through a hailstorm or something similar here in the North Texas region, you know that when something happens like that, you're going to have 100 roofers cruising up and down your street, knocking on doors, driving you nuts, driving the animals crazy. So before something goes wrong, go ahead and save this phone number so that you got it in your phone and you know exactly who to call next time there's anything going on with your roof. Roofing Solutions by Darren Houck is 817-882-6520, and that will be in the show notes along with their website, which is roofingsolutionsHouck.com. And a big thank you to Darren and Tanya Houck for supporting the Fort Worth Roots podcast. And we've got 2 new sponsors to tell you about. Again, I've mentioned this in the past. The Houck family has been nothing but supportive of the Fort Worth Roots podcast. And to maintain that theme, our next sponsor to tell you about today is Houck Walker Originals. You can find them at houckwalker.com, and it's also Houck Walker Originals on Facebook. Owned by David and Angela Walker, they both have creative original ideas that end up on this website. On here, you'll find things like customized pins, bowls, flasks, tumblers, wine tumblers, beverage holders, and an entire collection that features items for the home, cutting boards for the kitchen, coasters for the living room, or wine box for the dining room. I've caught David out at Arts Goggle. I've caught him at the River Oaks Springfest car show with his wood turning equipment where he makes tops and bowls and things like that out at these events. Anyway, check them out. David, Angela, thank you for supporting the show. That's Houck Walker Originals, and you can find them at houckwalker.com. We also want to welcome Woodpost Metalworks, another sponsor for the Fort Worth Roots podcast. Woodpost Metalworks specializes in metal signs with or without LED backlighting, fence and gate repair, as well as installation, light steel fabrication, industrial plasma cutting, and more. You can check them out on Facebook as Woodpost Metalworks, or you can go to their website at woodpostmetalworks.com. And you should check out this website because it's incredible what a locally owned family business can create with their plasma cutter. This stuff is wild. My favorite thing that I've seen so far, I was out at Arts Goggle, and they had a booth set up, and they had this like 3-foot tall T-Rex thing, and it looks like it's put together in pieces, but they got the thing welded together and then painted. It looks like you could pull it apart, pack it in a box, and take it with you, but it's one solid piece. This thing was kind of a showstopper. People were coming by and taking pictures with it and things like that, but they made it themselves. Mickey Wendell and her husband are the ones that own Woodpost Metalworks, and we did an episode with them recently. That was episode 89, and it's tagged The Artful Village with Mickey Wendell, Darren Houck, and special guest Mark A. Nobles. But we talk a little bit about Woodpost Metalworks in that episode. We also talk about The Artful Village, which is something that we're going to start getting involved with and bringing out the Fort Worth Roots podcast to these little pop-up markets and interacting with the public, which we've done a little bit already, but we want to do that a lot more. I'm thinking about taking Fort Worth Roots to these pop-up markets and car shows and things like that on a semi-regular basis, just because I like getting out there and actually meeting people. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. Go to woodpostmetalworks.com. Basically, if you need a sign for your business or you're trying to come up with an awesome gift idea, or maybe you just need some decor for around the house. So check them out again. That's woodpostmetalworks.com. All right, that covers it. Thank you, Woodpost Metalworks. Thank you, Houck Walker Originals. And thank you, Roofing Solutions by Darren Houck. Thank y'all for sponsoring the Fort Worth Roots podcast. And folks, if you're listening to this and you have a business of your own and you'd like to either sponsor the Fort Worth Roots podcast or you would just like to sponsor the event coming up Saturday, September the 10th out at Pouring Glory. If you'd like more information on how to sponsor the Fort Worth Roots podcast, hit me up. media@fortworthroots.com is our email. Okay, I think that's enough of the announcements. You know our guest today. He's been on the show once before. He is a recording artist, songwriter, and executive producer for Loyal Dreams Entertainment. In this episode, we talk about a new single, On the Road, with Westside Boogie, and upcoming album, Where Do I Go From Here 2, the dangers of walking down the Trinity River at 4 a.m. when snakes are lurking around, and many other off-the-wall topics, including who is Lou Charles and why hasn't he been on the Fort Worth Roots podcast yet. Our guest today has a new album dropping tentatively middle of October this year, but you don't have to wait that long to hear a little bit of what he's got going on. At the end of this episode, we've got a track that he provided for us today with Shaq Mack and Westside Boogie. So stay tuned to the very end of this episode so that you can hear some of this talented artist's music. All right, that's enough talking out of me. Thank y'all for being here. Give it up for our guest today, Shaq Mack, and let's start the show.
We're good.
Shaq Mack, back at the Fort Worth Roots. Thank you for being here.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me, man.
So you were trying to spin some more hot yoga on me before we started the recording. You really want me to get into that hot yoga?
Hey, Soul Sweat Hot Yoga on 8th Street.
On 8th Street.
Go see Miss Melinda. Tell her Shaq Mack sent you.
She wear you out?
Yeah, her and Kelsey. All the instructors are great. I've been going there since September, but I'm a very familiar face there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hit lately I've been in 12 classes a week.
Yeah. I remember last time we saw you, you were pretty swolled up. Looked like you were staying fit. Are you still continuing on your fitness journey?
Yeah. That's a lifestyle at this point. It's
That's good.
Maintaining my slimness. I got a shirtless photo shoot next week. So.
Oh man! So you cutting the carbs out?
Nah. I eat. I still nothing really changes. I just when it comes to carbs, I don't buy bread, but if I buy a bagel, it's from Central Market, so it's fresh.
Yeah.
So it's only gonna last a couple of days. So it's I'm gonna eat it or I'm not. And really, that's all I've been shop. I've only shopped at Central Market since last June.
Why is that?
Just healthier options, fresh, and I buy groceries every week.
Okay.
So if it lasts longer than a week, then I don't buy just eating fresh every week.
That's kind of what I've been trying to do, but I am definitely trying to lose some weight, so I've been trying to avoid anything with a carb in it.
It's the preservatives, man. It's not the carb. Sure. It's the preservatives. Once I cut out all preservatives, the weight disappeared.
Now at Central Market, is everything there just void of preservatives? Or
no.
You gotta pick and choose.
No, they definitely have their section that lasts longer, but overall it's just higher quality food.
So okay, Shaq Mack is getting ready to prepare meals for the week.
Yeah.
What's he going for?
It depends. It's either gonna be fish. I don't buy chicken. I don't eat beef. I don't buy chicken, but I'll eat chicken occasionally.
Just don't keep it at the house.
Right. I don't eat any beef or pork. So if I'm gonna buy a meal, most likely it'd be fish, shrimp, or really lean ground turkey, 98% to 2%.
Man.
And then
I'm getting hungry, not because what you're saying sounds good, but because I'm thinking about what if I did that diet and it's just making me hungry.
Yeah.
It makes me want really bad food. I only have a Big Mac maybe once a year, just to remind myself that I don't really like that. But right now, after you just described all this wholesome eating, I'm thinking about that Big Mac and that sauce they put on it.
I don't even know if I've ever had a Big Mac in my life.
Oh, dude, I don't think your body could handle it. Not if you've been eating clean like that.
Nah, all right, so when I left my parents' house in 2010, came to TCU, I hadn't had McDonald's for 2 years. And I remember I was about to leave Fort Worth and go down to Waco because I had a cousin, a buddy at Baylor. So I was all right, let me grab something real quick. Ran on time, had to get down there because we was going to go to a party. So I just grabbed McDonald's. And granted, at that time, I hadn't had McDonald's in at least 2 years. And I don't know what it was. I ate it, and I literally had to, throw up the entire way from Fort Worth to Waco. Never felt good, and I haven't
Body's
had it.
Trying to get it out.
I hadn't had it since that was in 2011.
Damn.
We are now in 2022, and I've never had McDonald's since.
That's wild. Yeah, no, I'm no fan of it, man. And I'm surprised that company seems to be doing just fine.
They do well, man.
There's nothing, no indication that they're slowing down, right?
Well, you got to think too, man. Abundance of the people in the world are not fortunate to eat on a higher quality basis.
Sure.
So it's it's sometimes that's like all they know. And like growing up, that's all I knew, because that's, we go to McDonald's, and then as I got up and got to where I am in life and started eating better, I was like, I can't go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't go back.
Well, and I think that whenever we were kids, I'm probably considerably older than you, but whenever I was a kid, the food at McDonald's probably was not as awful as it is
right,
now,
right,
as far as the preservatives are considered. But I mean, if you're going to provide that amount of food at that price, you're going to have to do some tricky shit. And apparently, if you take a Big Mac and you set it inside like a glass container, not an airtight glass container, but just like a cake glass, whatever. It's made for holding a cake. Not to keep it fresh, but to put it on display for an event or something. If you put a Big Mac in there and you leave it alone, it will stay in there mold free for 10 years. And then if you go to now listen, do not quote me on this, folks. I don't want to get sued here. I don't know this for a fact, but I believe there was a documentary and they did this, and they put a real burger, like with real bread, real cheese, real meat, and they put that next to the Big Mac, and they, time lapse, took some photos of it. 30 days later, that homemade burger is just covered in mold, right?
Right.
Big Mac looking fresh, like it just slid off of a magazine cover, right? So
I'm getting sick thinking about it.
Dude, I mean, there's what is in there?
Right.
How are you doing that?
And like, if you just like pay attention to like the people around you, and not any specific, but the one thing I always hear people complain about is, man, the price of food is so expensive. But yet you'll go eat out and spend more money eating this food you have no idea what it is, prepared by people who don't really want to be there.
That don't care about your health.
But yet you put that in your body, Right. And that's why, like if I eat out, like I'm very, very, very picky.
And do you have trouble doing that? Do you have trouble letting other people prepare your food?
Yeah, like, well, not so much the preparing. It's just like, what am I consuming?
Yeah.
I'd rather just like go buy it myself, make it myself, and that way I know it's going in my body.
What are some good Fort Worth restaurants that you actually enjoy and frequent?
It gotta be like local spots. I stay away from chains. I used to like love Coco Shrimp.
Oh yeah, I love that place.
I've noticed lately it's not what it used to be.
Really, it's pretty new, isn't it? It's only been around for a year, 2 years, maybe.
It's been around. Cause I think they started as like a food truck originally.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but they've like since expanded like to 2 different locations, and like obviously when a company starts expanding, like they're having to compromise certain places, trying to learn. It's just a learning curve, right?
Yeah.
And I just noticed like I don't consume it like I used to. Like it doesn't, like I feel like nauseous.
It might be a Shaq Mack thing, because I've been there 3 or 4 times and it is delicious.
Yeah.
Me love us some Coco Shrimp.
Yeah, but and then on that, like it feels like a burger, like Dutch's, just cause like
that's on Camp Bowie, isn't it?
Nah, Dutch's like over by TCU.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, cause that was like my spot in college. So like I'll crave a burger, and they have a great turkey burger. So I'm like, all right, that's where I'll go.
Yeah, that place is like on TCU campus almost.
Yeah.
That's a good little spot.
And then where else would I eat out? It gotta have a fish option.
Okay.
I don't know, fish and veggies, man. I don't know. Like at the end of the day, like I'm all I got. So it's like I gotta preserve me as long as I'm here. So
yeah. No, I get that.
And you are what you consume, whether it's something you're watching, something you're eating, or whatever the case may be.
Now, you mentioned that you don't eat beef.
Yeah.
But I got a place that if I took you to this particular restaurant and I had you get the steak, and I can't remember exactly what it is, but I'd know on the menu when I'd see it, and I'd go, Shaq, you're getting this. And then they'd roll this thing out, and it would be the best beef you've ever had in your life. Would you try that?
What restaurant is
Lonesome Dove. It's right across from downtown Cowtown Isis Theater.
I've heard of this spot.
It's a Tim Love restaurant, and I mean, they make good food. And I
know about Tim Love.
Dude.
Yeah, I know about Tim Love. So I would politely say no, thank you.
Well, I'm just never going to be in as good a shape as you, my friend.
Nah, man.
I like to eat.
we all have our own journey, man. Just run your race for you, man.
There you go.
Yeah, run your race for you. Overall, it just makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Along with the yoga practice, and just keeps, especially like now, I definitely had like a crossroad. I can't remember if we talked about this, but like when you talk about like the American dream, I achieved it like by the time I hit 26 years old.
Mm-hmm.
From 26 to like 29, which I'm currently 29, and I'll be 30 here in a couple of weeks. So like those 3 years, I was just like in a whole like deep depression. It's like trying to figure out what more is there to life, you know? And then I just like had to just like find different meanings for life. Found yoga, and then just understanding that mental health is very important, right? Because like in all those years, I was just on the go, never stopped. So like I never had time to even have a mental issue.
Yeah.
But then like when I got like stagnant, I was like, damn, where do I go from here?
All the cracks start showing.
Right. And then like the demons coming out, and it's like, all right, like now I gotta like stay consistent with healthy habits, like, and just focus on being a better me. Yeah. And when I'm a better me, I can be a better person to the world.
That's excellent. You know? I can relate to some of that. When I'm in better physical condition, or whenever I'm just starting my day off with like a run. Right. My whole day is better. I feel better. Everything works better, like my joints and everything. I can think better. But and then like sleep, diet. I don't think I've given myself a chance to really experience what my brain works like on a good diet. Right. Because I'll, passively try to have a good diet, but I always end up eating a cheeseburger. So
man. Now I'm up every morning at like 4 a.m. I have the alarm set 4 a.m., but a lot of times I'm waking up well before that, just naturally, and then start the day off with like a 7.5 mile walk.
Man, that's like 2 hours of your day.
Yeah, 2 hours.
7.5. You're walking 7.5 miles every day?
Yeah, in the morning.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, man, that is incredible.
It makes a world of difference.
Now, are you speed walking like the mall ladies?
Nah. So what I'll do, I'll leave my house, walk through the neighborhoods to the Trinity River. Then I'll walk the river, and by the time I get to the neighborhoods, I'm like right there at the Press Cafe. Okay. So then I'll walk Press Cafe all the way down to University, up University, and back to the house.
Hope you don't got nobody after you, because you just gave them your whole morning whereabouts.
Hey, if you up at 4 a.m., come on. Come on. There's nobody out there. Like Friday, so this past Friday is crazy because like right there, it's like, it's not like a extravagant waterfall, but it's just like we know where the river's like ducking off, so it's nice peaceful sound. So like last Friday, I just like sat on the rock for like, I walked that route backwards, and I just sat on the rock and was just like, just chilling, just like thinking about, roll out the album, just life, I was like, yeah, that felt good, and then finished the walk, got home. So this Friday, I was like, I'm gonna do the same thing, and I went to sit down the rock, and everything was good, and I just happened to look over to my left. Freaking snake.
No.
A snake. No. The snake was on the rock next to me. And if you're familiar with Trinity River, you'll know exactly, because you can like skip across those rocks. Man, the snake was like embedded in like the crack, and I mean it was fat. Like, oh shit. Have you ever wanted to see a grown man like holler, scream, and like run and almost fall into the river? Like, it was definitely insane.
Were you were seated when you found the snake?
Yeah, he was the next rock over. So I looked up and I said, oh God, and jumped up so quick, and like, because like by the time I'm like halfway, like right in the middle of the river.
Now, what was the snake doing? Was he just checking you out, or was he coming your way?
He was just chilling. But it was a fact. The fact was, I almost sat down that rock, but I didn't sit down that rock because I was like, so it was the snake rock, the rock I sat down, and then there was a duck, and I was like, oh, I want to be close to the ducky, right? So I was like, all right, I'm gonna sit here, and then I looked over and I was like, I almost sat down right there.
Because those water snakes, as far as I understand, are fairly aggressive, right? They don't play around.
Yeah, because I know, like, growing up, like, I was very familiar with water moccasins. Right. And my brother, he's big into animals. So I called him. was like, bro, this snake. He was like, what did it look like? I was like, I thought it was a white moccasin. And I was like, no, they're like black, like they're really dark.
Yeah.
But this one had like, it was like almost like a brownish, and they had like kind of like black little spots. He was like, maybe it was like a cottonmouth.
I mean, that's what that sounds like, a rattlesnake.
Right. And I'm like, I didn't think they were water snakes, but like it was embedded in the rock, and like that morning it was cool, so I could see why he would be where he was.
Just looking for some heat, yeah.
Yeah, like.
Oh, dude.
I don't know, man.
Well, it's one thing to be like walking and see a snake, and then you can jump back. But you were seated next to the thing.
Less than 3 feet away.
I think my spine would have just like separated from my lower half, and I'd have just like
Yeah. Because last weekend I was at the Fort Worth Nature Reserve, and I
just north of town.
Yeah. And I walked past like a little creek, and I just happened to look down, and I seen a snake down there, but. I mean, we was far. I was like on like a little elevated surface, so I was like, "Oh, look, a snake! You look cool." But this one was like
way too close for comfort.
It was way too close. It was way too close.
Damn, that snake almost got Shaq Mack, y'all.
Right. You gotta watch out for these snakes.
And I've been pretty fortunate. I mean, throughout life, I'll be walking through like tall grass out in the middle of nowhere, and I'm thinking, man, like in my life, I have not seen a lot of snakes. This is probably the moment when I'm about to get ambushed by all the snakes that I've missed throughout my life.
Right.
It's gonna happen. I almost intuitively feel like one day I will, probably be bitten by a snake, because there's no way that I'm not coming in contact with snakes. It's that I'm not seeing them.
Right.
Because everybody's got like a lot of snake stories, and I have like one.
Yeah.
I have one where I stepped on a snake, and to my point, I didn't see this thing until I stepped on it, and my foot sent a signal up to my brain that said something is wrong with the ground. And I looked down, and it was a fat ass king snake. Now those snakes are apparently good for like
they're good
murdering other snakes.
Yeah, that's what you want.
But I didn't know that.
Right.
Young 12-year-old Andrew just saw a giant. Yeah. In my mind, this thing was straight out of the movie Anaconda. It was the biggest snake I'd ever seen.
Right.
Ever. And I mean, I lit up that hill. I mean, went as fast as I could. I'm sure it looked a little Looney Tune-ish because there's caliche rock up a hill, so like my feet are not gaining 100% traction. So I am doing like the Looney Tunes.
Yeah, kind of like
moving
running
too fast.
Yeah.
But so I'm due for some snake encounters, man, and that makes me very nervous. I'm aware of this, like.
Yeah, and it didn't help either because like when I didn't have a phone on me, so I'm like, yeah, this could have been bad.
Right, because. Well, where you're talking about, I think, is just like right down the path from, I can't think of the name of that, but it's where they have that market every weekend, right?
Yeah. It's literally
the trailhead.
Yeah.
It's right by that trailhead.
Yeah, Press Cafe.
You said that. Okay.
Yeah. So literally, from Press Cafe, if you look towards the river, it's just to the right.
Yeah.
Just not even far. You would see it.
It's a beautiful little spot.
Yeah.
And I will be very cautious the next time I am there.
Yeah, and especially like that early morning, because like part of the reason I walk that early is living in the city. Like everything's like, I know Fort Worth's slow, but everything's just moving. You just hear a lot, and like that's like the only time I can be present in the city, and it's like quiet.
Yeah, but
like,
2 hours of walking,
man, you're
just a different human.
Man,
I don't mean that in a bad way, but
it works for me, man. So that's why I do it. And like there's like a couple mornings like when it gets like chilly, I'm just like I can't do the cold because that's a far walk in the cold. So in those days, I know like it's very apparent. Like
you can feel it.
Yeah, I can feel like me, and because like I feel it, like I have to compensate. So like now I'm exerting more energy, where like I can just like be. It's like free.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a lot to it, and I mean, just for like me today, I went to a group workout class, and it's only 45 minutes long, but god dang, it murders me every time I go.
Yeah.
Which is probably good.
Yeah, it's good.
But I'm on my way back, and my heart rate is falling, and I'm just kind of like sitting at an intersection light, and I got the sun hitting me, and all of a sudden I'm just like, man, I feel so good.
Right.
You can only get that from doing 45 minutes of very uncomfortable cardio. Is basically what it comes out to. I mean, there's other things involved here, but it's my heart rate's probably bouncing between 150 and 180 for 45 minutes, and
That's bizarre, man.
got to do that if you want to get that little high, I guess. But
Yeah.
and I also like for the rest of the day, I'm gonna feel fairly
feel
clear-headed and
yeah.
stuff. So
yeah, you'll be able to take a lot. That's how I am. They're like, man, why are you so calm throughout the day? It's like, I don't know. Yeah.
well, I'd say some of that's just your personality, though. You're a
Yeah.
very, very laid-back dude.
Yeah, but I owe it all to yoga and walking too, man. Just like even you come to my house. There's no internet. There's no cable. There's no streaming services.
Do you have a TV on the wall?
I have a TV on the wall.
Well, that's good.
It comes on. It comes on occasionally, but like it's just like peaceful.
Yeah.
Like what do you do? I'm like, I don't have to do anything. I'm just like in peace in my own house. Like, and for years, like I didn't have that.
Yeah.
So it feels good. So and people think it seems strange because it's different.
Right.
You know, and obviously when you're on a journey, being different a lot of times is what makes you stand out. And I just take it for what it is. Like, hey, you enjoy talking with me. There's a reason you enjoy, and I gotta keep maintaining what I do for you to continue to enjoy the individual. So
Yeah. Well, you're living your best life, so
yeah,
that's all that matters.
Trying to, man. Trying to.
All right, so last time you were on, you had a project coming up, and it was very hush-hush. We couldn't even drop names, but the album is about to release or has already released?
The album hasn't released. It's almost done.
Okay, but you do have you just showed me off of YouTube a video.
Yeah. So that's a single I just released yesterday. So it's called On the Road, featuring Westside Boogie. Westside Boogie is one of Eminem's proteges. And we actually did the song like last July, but just now rolling out now. But the album that's coming will be out later this year.
Okay.
Yeah, it will hands down be the best body of work I've ever put together.
That's awesome.
And I mean, I know I'm early in the career, but
well, I was going to ask you about that too, because I saw some kind of troubling post either that you sent me or that I found on my own on the interwebs, but you credit this as your last album.
Final album.
What does that mean? You about to break everybody's heart?
Nah, not necessarily break everybody's heart, but I won't leave anything behind after this project.
Okay.
This project, I'm gonna give it. I'm giving it everything I got. Like from a financial standpoint to a production standpoint to just overall effort.
Okay.
And like,
so it's more of a frame of mind thing rather than a putting up the gloves kind of deal.
We'll see. We'll see what happens, man.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. But I mean, like, also in my defense, like, I could never write another song in my life, and I still have like 3 albums worth of songs in my vault.
Yeah.
Not including the album I'm about to release. So like, and then there's just I got my label Loyal Dreams Entertainment, and we'll see. We'll see. I'm just enjoying the journey for what it is. Like right now my thing in life is just like connecting with people and just leaving an impact, and just like, being in different places, seeing different people, and just hearing people's stories, and just giving encouragement, motivation. I know a lot of times people are like, oh man, you're young, but like age doesn't determine like experience.
Yeah.
Especially from a guy like, knowing like my parents, like my mom was 17 when she had me, my dad was 21, young kids like had no idea, and they've like accomplished so much in life. And then like knowing my dad's background, where like him and my uncle had like 3 outfits that they shared each, and my dad was 2 years older than my uncle, and
damn.
So either somebody has on some too big clothes or someone has on some too small clothes, right?
Yeah.
And I watched him grow into, built a big house on 3 acres of land. My dad always said, like, I attempted college, but it wasn't for me, and he knew that, so he just busted it working.
Yeah.
Worked in the oil field, so like, he was present in my life, but I didn't know him because he was working so much. A lot of times we just talk on the phone.
Yeah.
But he always made sure we were taken care of. Like I never went without. And to like see him or see them raise 3 kids. My brother, he's the last one, and he'll be finishing at Oklahoma State here in a couple years.
Outstanding.
So I've graduated. My sister, my brother, and it's like
your parents did good.
Yeah, they did a good job, and and like over like since the last time we talked, and like even before then, like it's easy to go back and say like what your parents could have done. Oh, I wish they'd did this. I wish they'd have done that, or this and the third. But like at the same time, like we only know what we know.
Right.
Right. So they did the best they could with the resources, right, that they had, with the knowledge that they had, and it got me to this position.
Mm-hmm.
So like now, like for me to get to like that next step is continue to expand my knowledge, right? And they always say like it takes a village to raise a kid, right? And you look at that village, like you create families wherever. Like I grew up in East Texas, but yet you go to Soul Sweat Hot Yoga, and they're all gonna know who Shaq Mack is, right? Like even like in the Fort Worth scene, like never done music, but like people know who Shaq Mack is.
I don't know if we talked about this last time, but you did a music video with your homies at the yoga studio.
Yeah, and at that time, man, I had only been going there for a month, and like I met, and I tell Miss Melinda this all the time. Miss Melinda, she's the owner, and we like talk like after either before class or after class, and like she learned I did music, and from the time I met her, she was like, "Oh, we gotta figure out how to make Shaq blow up." And it was always things. She was like, "Oh, we need to collab." And at that time, I was like, I enjoy yoga, but I don't know how to like collab it with.
How do you put that into a rap
right?
story? Yeah.
And then bam, like the next week, like I write that verse, and then put the idea together, and then we get together, and the rest is history.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I thought that was a great idea.
Yeah.
It's original. It's fresh. Has anybody ever done that in the hip hop world? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I'm a patent. I'm a rapping yogi. Yeah. Because one thing, I mean, like
start making shirts.
Yeah, that might be in the works already. But wink, wink. But
okay, yeah. That's awesome. I'll have to. I'm probably gonna. What was your instructor's name?
Miss Melinda. Well, Melinda's the owner. So like, you got Melinda. You got Kelsey, you got Stephanie, you got the Rachels.
The Rachels? 3, 4?
It's two okay. Rachels. Danielle. Man, they're all great. They're all great. They're all great. They're all great. Miss Sydney, she's like, I think she just got her teacher certification recently, and I've hit 2 of her classes. And although she's like new to the game, like both of her classes, like there's for those smokers out there, when you smoke, you have that feeling of being high.
Yeah.
Right. But your body naturally produces those dopamines. You just gotta figure out how to release it. But and in both of Sydney's classes, like she's like had me in that feeling. I'm like just floating.
What do you think that is too? Because we talked with Jeremy Sauter from Body Machine Fitness. I think episode 77, I think. And he talks a lot about beta waves and using, I hate to call them tricks, but audio tricks and visual tricks. He's using technology to kind of hijack those emotions.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a lot of really trippy stuff about that. And he's not the first person that's talked about it on this show. Is anything like that going on with your yoga classes where they're implementing certain techniques in order to get you into a different brain state?
Not on a regular basis. I know they had like this I forget how they call it, like sound wave like workshop.
Yeah.
And I couldn't make it, but like basically what they use is like the vibrations, and like allows your body to relax.
Yeah.
Cause like most time, like we're like every day, like we're tensed up, and we don't even realize we're tense because it's something we just naturally do. So it like allows your body to relax, and you just go into like just like this freeing state, right?
Yeah.
And everybody that took that class, I was like, oh my god, like this was like the best. Like I've never like felt like this.
Huh.
And my first yoga instructor, Miss Bridget Gibbs, I remember like when we first started, they had a workshop going on, and she swore by it, and I missed that one too. So I've yet to experience it, but I think it's called sound bath.
Okay.
But everybody I've known that's ever done it is like, I've never felt so relaxed, and they just felt free.
Yeah. It's definitely worth checking out. I've done 3 classes over there at BMF now, and it's happened all 3 times where at a certain point in the workout, there's that, it's just a flood of endorphins or something. You feel so damn good for about, I don't know, I think it lasts for about 2 minutes, and then it kind of starts wearing off. I mean, you level out, you still feel better than you did when you walked in the door, but there is a 2-minute, 3-minute window.
Yeah.
Where you just, I mean, you get that runner's high. And for me, getting that runner's high that people talk about, that takes about 5 miles for me if I'm going to get that while I'm running. But with whatever they're doing in there, the music and the lights and the tempo, I'm able to achieve that same feeling briefly at about the 30-minute mark.
Yeah.
It's a 45-minute class. So I don't know. I'm fascinated with this, and I keep having people on the show that talk about it with the chemistry and the whatever, the inner workings of the brain, and how we can use light and sound and tempo in order to alter our brain state or whatever you call it. I'm not the expert here, folks. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, because you got
cool stuff.
You got to think sound is nothing more than energy.
Yeah.
Right. Because I know, like in the sequence classes, like. I mean, they play music throughout the yoga classes, but like all the instructors create their own playlists, and like some days, like depending on the songs they choose, it might be able to relax my mind more.
Yeah.
And then I like pay attention, like Miranda Lambert, Tin Man. Hey there, Mister. I'm not a singer.
Do it,
guys.
do it, Shaq.
But that song like relaxes me so much.
Yeah.
And I think it might also play into like your current mental state, because like sometimes the words resonates and just like makes you feel like how you felt like when you were a kid at like grandma's house, or like in your mom's arm. It just makes you feel like the world is not the world, right? Makes you feel like less afraid to take chances or to just be yourself.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know, but I know in my next album, like I definitely play like an intentional awareness into like tones on different sounds.
Yeah.
Depending on what emotion I'm trying to bring out.
Nice. So that idea is not lost on you. Like you're paying attention to it too.
Right. But like I did it. I initially like it wasn't like intentional, but then once I caught on to it, I was like, oh, this is a vibe. So then like after that it became very, very intentional. And even through the album, like I like listen to it, and it's just like it's like waves of like getting your emotion. Like you be up, you be down, you feel good, then bam, it's over. And then you got to hop back on the ride again.
That's cool. And that's the album that's coming out.
Where do I go from here too? Yeah.
And what did you already tell me the release date?
I haven't said. I have the tentative release date is sometime in October.
Why are you making us wait so long?
I got again. This is the last project, so I gotta make sure
I get it. I'm messing
with the best and the fact that I've been able to do it, like the first time I stepped foot in the studio was April 5th, 2019. And for me to create a body of work like this 3 years later, like I want the listeners, especially those who've been with me since when I drop the No Guidance freestyle, right? I want you to be like, dang, like he really came, divided, conquered. And that's it.
And so now the art is more or less complete, right?
The art, we're waiting on. We got one more song
Okay.
to do. But it's written. I'm just waiting on the production to get done.
And so the majority of what you're focusing on now is it the marketing portion?
Yeah, that's the marketing and then the rollout, just like exactly how I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And just like putting it on pen, and then I'm so ahead of time now for this project. It's unreal.
Okay.
It's because the majority of the album has been done since, what month are we in? May? Right at the end of May?
We're at the end of May.
Yeah, I think the majority of the album was done by the end of April.
Okay.
And the last track is so special that we've been like, we created something, and it's like, nah, that's not it. So we went back to the drawing board, like just trying to get the production just right. And it'll make sense. It'll make sense. I'll come back and I'll be able to explain. It'll make sense.
Okay.
But the last track is so special. So it's like, I just want to make sure when I put that cherry on top, that cherry is sweet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's we can do one before and after. We can do one just before or just after. I'd like before and after, but
yeah. Now we come back before and after.
I'd like a full album breakdown. I want to know, where your head's at, what you did. Okay, this is the song I was talking about where we, really played with the tone to exhibit that feeling, and I'd like a full Shaq Mack new album drop breakdown.
Yeah, we can make that happen. where I go from here too, man. So now I'm like, I can. Like, obviously an artist is supposed to be confident and stuff, but like with this project, like I can go toe to toe with any album out there. Your favorite album, whatever you want to say it is, like I can put this album against it.
I'm excited.
And stand behind and put everything I own behind it.
That's excellent.
Yeah. Like that's how confident and I was talking to one of my buddies, Godbo. He's another singer in the city.
What was his name?
Godbo.
Okay.
He's an R&B singer, and I was like, I know it sounds a little cocky. It's like, nah, man, it's your art, man. Like you supposed to feel that. If you don't feel that way, like how do you expect someone else to feel that way?
Right.
And so, and I know like you got that message, right? So I got a lot of response back, and like when I initially did it, I was just writing my truth, but I got so many responses back like, wait, this your last one? Like I was like, dang, I didn't really think people I didn't think y'all was really like paying attention to me like that.
Making everybody nervous.
It was like you throwing in the towel, and I just said I won't leave nothing behind. Like I won't leave anything behind.
There you go. That's all right.
Yeah, we're gonna go out with a bang.
Maybe a disclaimer next time. Don't scare everybody.
Yeah. Nah. But
that's perfect.
I guess if they make me popular by demand, I guess I can always come back, return the Mac, right?
Oh, well, whatever you do, you'll have the support of Fort Worth Roots, man. We really appreciate you coming back on the show.
Yeah. No, it was a pleasure. I enjoyed my time. I was actually listening to the podcast, like literally like a couple, like I think it might have been the end of last week. I was like, it was a good time, man. Like the hour went by. It's like where'd the time go by?
Yeah, I keep looking at the clock. I'm like, holy shit! I mean, we're 45 minutes into it. I feel like I just sat down.
Yeah. Oh, crazy thing is, so I ended up meeting this guy, and he was like, wait, are you Shaq Mack, the rapper? I was like, yeah, I'm Shaq Mack. He's like, dude, I was listening to Fort Worth Roots podcast.
Oh, hell yeah!
Right,
that's awesome.
I was like, it blew my mind. I was like, damn, like.
Man, I have the same reaction anytime somebody, because I've been going to these events I was telling you about, and I got people coming up to me, man, I love your show. Thank you for, please keep it up, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I think you might have the wrong show. Right. And they're like, no, episode blah, blah, blah with so-and-so.
Right.
Y'all talked about this, and this. And I'm like, oh, my God, you've been listening to my show.
You listening. Like.
So who was this?
So he was like my neighbor's guy.
Huh.
Yeah, he listened to the show, so I like the they're no longer a thing. But
Right,
I don't want to like
no, that's fine.
create no. But he came. He was like, yeah, like.
So just somebody just out of the blue.
Yeah.
That
Because
is
like
so
you
cool.
say when he met me, so like there's times where I'm just like Shaq Mack, just a normal person, and I'll go in like Shaq Mack rapper mode.
Yeah.
But when he first met me, it was just like, cool, like, and then after that, like, it was like, oh, let's Shaq Mack the rapper. And I was like, nah, I'm just Shaq Mack.
That's wild.
I'm Shaq Mack.
Well, that's cool. I'm really, man, thank you for telling me that story.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
yeah. When he said it, I meant to get at you and tell you, but then it's like, I was like, nah, that's not really a text worthy. Like, that's definitely in person worthy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, dude, wherever you are, thanks for bringing up Fort Worth Roots and telling Shaq Mack that you heard about him on the show.
Big Matt. Matt from Kansas.
So you can send us a voicemail to media@fortworthroots.com and we'll play it on the show. Come on, Matt.
Yeah. Yeah, but nah, he was a good guy, man. And it sounds like he listens to your podcast often.
Oh, cool.
Like just
Very cool.
how I explain it. So I was like, yes, that's dope. Like it was super random, like at the time, and I was like,
That does sound pretty random.
yeah, because I think we were about to like get ready to go out one night, like on a weekday. I think it was like a Tuesday or something like that. And then he brought it up, and I was like, all right.
It's so wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets strange. There's a guest that we're having. That episode that I'm thinking of right now comes out not this Monday, but next. And Genevieve is her name. And I ran into her at Whiskey Garden. We got invited out by this guy named Royal, who's a really cool dude, and was just like, hey, you want to bring the podcast out to this event. It's a bikini contest party. I'm like, I mean, I'm coming. That sounds cool, but I don't know, like, are they going to want a podcaster around while they're, judging these, hot young girls in bikinis? But it was a great time. And Genevieve, and I think she's annoyed that I keep bringing up the fact that she's Miss Fort Worth 2020.
Oh,
but
yeah?
That's a pretty prestigious title, Genevieve.
Yeah, like, you run the city, like, not like...
Yeah. So, but she comes running up to the booth and she's like, oh man, I love your show and I've been listening and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, she has no idea who I am.
Yeah.
She's got me mixed up with a way better podcast. But she, rolled it out. She's like, no, it's this episode with these people. And I'm like, oh my God, she has seen it.
Right.
So, but I guess if you distribute something like this all over the world, and some people in your hometown are going to start connecting the dots.
Right,
so,
right. And the key to all of it is just staying consistent and just keep feeding them.
Yeah. And I'm trying to stay on the same trajectory that I started with, which is just promote everybody else, and maybe I'll make some friends along the way too. So, but it seems to be making me a kind of a honorary guest inside the music community here in Fort Worth. Like, people are starting to recognize me, like musicians and stuff. Like, oh, hey man, I heard your podcast, man. So it's cool. It's a good feeling.
Yeah. I'm glad, man. Just I tell everybody, just enjoy the journey. Whatever it is you're doing, whether you enjoy it, whether you don't, just enjoy it.
Yeah. That's the important thing.
And just know where you are and where you're trying to go, and know it's possible, but just enjoy, because you really got to enjoy every steps.
And stop eating McDonald's.
Yeah, stop eating McDonald's. No McDonald's.
For those of you not watching the YouTube video, Shaq got right in your face.
No
on
McDonald's.
The YouTube video.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, just mentally, just trying to stay healthy, physically healthy, and get this project done. And that's been the biggest focus.
How has it been? Because through this project, through your new album, all the work that you've been putting into this, you've met a lot of really incredible people, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, you've been making friends, new connections, all that.
Yeah.
How's that been going? I mean, what's that been like?
It's being that I don't have a manager, and it's never been a lifetime dream of mine to be a rapper, and the fact that I've gotten to where I am solo dolo, per se. It's been incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It's been incredible. There was a period where like I was just kind of lost in the mix, and that really just came. I really didn't know what I was trying to accomplish, because I know a lot of times the artist is like, oh man, I want to become this artist, and buy my parents a new house, and do this and that and the third. Well, I don't have those issues. Like my dad and parents bought their own house. Like I bought my own house. Like I had a house before I even. So it's like, what do I do? And then once I finally like set the intentions, and I like grew to love it again. Especially like when you go look at your analytics, and like recently, my music has been spazzing like in Australia. And I'm like, I've never been to Australia.
Time to pack a bag, man.
But somebody in Australia like knows it, and like I can tell because like whoever it is has it on repeat.
Okay.
Just because like it's consistent. There's a place in Colorado. Oh,
Boulder.
Nah, it's not Boulder.
Colorado City. Denver.
University.
Well, don't get me on Colorado trivia. I don't know.
Hold on, give me a second. Hold on, I gotta look it up, because that song has been consistent there. I don't know how. Greeley, Colorado.
Okay.
Like it's the same song, and it always has abundance of streams on that same song.
They're just digging it.
All right, and then like along with Australia, like Phoenix, like the Phoenix area. And I know it's the area because like Phoenix, Glendale, Mesa, like all those. I'm like, and I went because I had to go to the map. I was like, where are all these places? Like there are a lot of times I go look up, and I was like, that's like the equivalent to like Fort Worth, North Richland Hills,
right?
All. So I was like, it's dope, man.
Little
like
pocket over there.
Yeah. So like the next thing is like to get there and like really. It's one thing to hear the music, but it's another thing to like put the good soul to the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like the music I make, like when you really understand the person, like it resonates on a whole different level.
Yeah.
It's not like, just rapping about the money and fame. Like I was telling a friend the other day, it's like I want to make quality music from a normal person's standpoint.
Yeah.
Like when you listen to like the Tupacs, the Biggies, like they made that music like 30 plus years ago, yet it still resonates in today's society. Like
it does, yeah.
Music that just lasts forever. It's not like fad. It's like me being me, and the fact that like I can do it. Like I'm controlling this ship. Like I'm gonna do it how I want to do it.
Well, I think somewhere between your intention, and just your personality, how you are as a person, is really driving your success. But aside from all of that, all the back stuff, you're incredibly talented. Your music is excellent.
Man, I appreciate it.
I'd only say it because it's true. If it sucked, I'd tell you too. I'd be like, hey, you got some room to grow.
Hey, and I need that, man, because like again, like I never took a class, never was like, oh, I'm gonna do this. Didn't come from a musical background. It's just something like when I was like, after divorce, like it wasn't divorce. It was me just trying to find myself. Like I was listening to like my favorite artists, and their music no longer resonated within me. Yeah. Like it's like I still jam it, but it's like this is not helping me through my journey.
Right.
Like, cause this is my journey. So then I just telling my story, man. Cause like right now, like I don't have any kids. I don't have any significant other. If something happened, like that just be the end of Shaq Mack. So it's like this is my legacy. So like again, the final album, like I want it to be like just undeniable.
Everything's on the table.
Undeniable, like full transparent. Cause like the first album I dropped was Where Do I Go From Here. So I had to circle back to the beginning, like where I go from here too.
Yeah,
and it feeds off of that, and just really like let you in my world.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
Can I get it early?
Yeah, after the podcast, I give you a sneak peek of a song.
Oh, you don't have to do that. I don't want to mess up your process.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You wouldn't be the first one, man.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, you wouldn't be the first person. But yeah, man, it's good, man. It's good.
Have you thought about because just before we started recording together, you got to meet Mark Spitz that was here, and so his episode will be released the week before yours. And we had talked a little bit about him wanting to act. Well, let me rephrase that. He doesn't want to. It wasn't his idea. I asked him if he'd considered setting up like a festival because, I told him I've had Shaq Mack on. I've had the artist Trigga on recently. And what I keep hearing from people inside the hip-hop community is that there's just nowhere to put your foot here in Fort Worth as far as like live performances or a hip-hop strong community here in Fort Worth. Yeah. And it's not necessarily that the people of Fort Worth aren't receptive to that, but there's just not the same movement in the hip-hop community in Fort Worth, and maybe I'm wrong, you can correct me, that there is for like this red dirt country stuff that's going on here in Fort Worth. That seems to have some pretty strong energy behind it. Right. So my question to you is the same as I asked Mark. Do you think that there's any way that enough of you guys inside the Fort Worth hip hop community could put on a festival like that, where it's, maybe it's just a day, maybe it's a 2-day thing. Yeah. Y'all get together, put on a real show.
Yeah. You definitely have enough talent around the city.
100%, and that's why I think it's a possibility.
You definitely have enough talent. Like there's so many talented artists. I think it would have to take the right person to put it together, and have just the right resources. Anything's possible.
You give me a couple more years, I might have those resources.
Yeah,
I'm building up.
But at the same time, it's like Fort Worth is known for country, so like just bringing that outlier to the forefront, like
difficult.
I'm not gonna say it's not.
Well, I'll put it to you like this: 10 years ago, Fort Worth was not the music hub that it is today. Yeah. And I understand that the genre of popular music in Fort Worth is what it is right now. Yeah. But it's never going to change if somebody doesn't do something to make it.
Yeah. Because I know, like,
you got to create a home for it.
Main Street Art Festival. So my boy Lou Charles, that was like the first time they ever had a hip hop act at Main Street Art Festival, and he brought me out and Joe out. Joe's another hip hop artist, dope artist in the city. And he brought us both out, and we had like 3 songs each. And the people there were very, very receptive. I mean, it's probably about maybe like 100 people or so. Yeah. Very receptive, and they were like, "Oh, y'all need to do more of this." But I think it's all just like with timing. Yeah. But
it's difficult.
Yeah, like Lou Charles, which Mark brought up.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Lou Charles. He's very successf's in the city.
So who is this Lou Charles fella?
Man, who is Lou, man? Lou Charles. He's. I would say he's probably one of the forefront hip hop artists in the city. Okay. Like really like doing his thing.
We need Lou Charles on the show, and we need to talk about this make believe festival
here. Yeah, he has this Lou Palooza that he's throwing here on June 17th. And this is like the fifth time in a row.
Oh, nice.
And this is like his show that he puts on. So he brings the openers and
where does he hold it at?
This year is gonna be at Tulips. Last year was at Tulips. This year will be at Tulips, and each and every year he's elevated. Because I know the first Loopalooza I ever went to was last year, just because I went in the scene all those years prior. So I didn't know. Hell, I didn't even know Fort Worth had a music scene, to be honest, before I started doing music. Yeah. And then the first year I started doing music in like 2019. the show was on the same day I was shooting the music video, and then obviously 2020 was COVID, and then 2021, and he brought me on stage because we have a song, Going Deep. I'm doing the background vocals, and man, it was 200 plus people in there.
Okay, I need Lou Charles on the Fort Worth Roots podcast.
All to see Lou Charles.
You think he'd guest on the show?
Yeah. I definitely reached out. I was actually telling him back because I was on the phone with him earlier, and he was like, "What you got going on?" I was like, got a podcast. Oh yeah, woo. He's like, oh yeah, I listened to the first one. He's like, yeah, it was dope. So yeah. He always showing love to Fort Worth. Anything Fort Worth, like.
Well, I want to do whatever I can to help the hip hop genre because it's obvious that it needs a little bit of attention brought to it for sure. Yeah. So whatever we can do to help.
Yeah.
For what that's worth.
Yeah.
I'll probably get your neighbor there.
Yeah.
It's possible.
I mean, I don't know if he was intentionally like seeking out to listen, but it just happened and he just put the names. But yeah, I think he just likes you as a person.
You don't know if he's a fan or not. Is what you're saying?
Nah, he's a fan of Fort Worth Roots.
Well, I mean hip hop.
Oh, actually, no, I take that back. Nah, he's definitely a fan of hip hop because I gave him a sneak peek of like 2 album tracks. Oh. And he was like, dude, like this might be the album.
Yeah.
Just off the 2 songs. Mm-hmm. And only 2 songs it was the Westside Boogie and On the Road featuring Westside Boogie was that track, and then the intro to the album.
I got to tell the listeners this story real quick, and then maybe we can wrap this up, but it was just too funny not to share with somebody. So Shaq Mack had sent me a link to On the Road, and I clicked on the link, and it took me to something totally different. And whenever Shaq Mack got here, I was like, yeah, man, congratulations. That track was pretty impressive. However, it feels like a totally different Shaq Mack. Have you kind of changed things up? And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, well, in the song, you're talking about guns and murdering people and, the streets are hard and drugs and things like that. It just did not feel like Shaq Mack. And he's like, what are you talking about? So apparently when I clicked on the link, it just took me to something totally different. And I think it did maybe it had Westside Boogie in it. I have no idea now. Yeah. What I was listening to. But then he pulls up the actual song and he starts playing. I'm like, okay, that's Shaq Mack. Okay. Yeah. That's much more on brand.
Shaq Mack knows nothing about streets, about killing. Like, I'm all about love, peace, and happiness.
But I think, like, as I was describing it, like, you could see the confusion on my face. Like, what was that?
We're both looking at each other puzzled, like...
I'm thinking, what happened to you? And you're thinking, what is he talking about?
Right. But we got, it's just a miscommunication.
We cleared it up.
Yeah, we cleared it up.
Shaq Mack don't play with those guns. Shaq Mack ain't street. It's okay.
I ain't a killer.
Well, okay. So definitely let's get you back in here to promote that album. And, if you got time before, cool. If not, but definitely after the album release, I want to be able to, maybe we can just even go track by track and just break it down. Because, I mean, you poured your heart and soul into this. And I would like to get the steps, because there's so much that goes into each and every one of those individual tracks. Yeah. So I want to get the whole story if we can do that.
Yeah.
Is that too personal?
Nah, it's okay. Hey, the body of work is there, like, so it's just explanation behind it. So not personal at all. I do know I'm dropping the album. The next day I'm gonna be gone for a week in Costa Rica.
That's good. Do that.
And
take pictures.
Like not looking at any analytics. The phone will be off. I will be disconnected because this year, like getting this project, like I've never worked so hard. Never worked so hard in my life, but it doesn't feel like it, which is the crazy thing. But like everything that goes into this, just again trying to give everything of me to you guys.
It's awesome.
To the people.
But as you're trying to maintain your composure and work on your mental health as you work through these last months before your album release, please don't make any morning walks sitting down next to a poisonous snake on the Trinity River. We don't want to lose you. You're too valuable. No, don't go getting bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, after that moment, I was like, man, maybe I need to like have a wheel of like how I want the album to roll out, just in case, like, you know. But that was terrifying. So
it's pretty scary. I'm probably gonna have nightmares tonight. It's not great.
Hopefully not, man. Yeah.
All right, where can people find your material right now?
ShaqMack.com. That's my website.
And if you're looking at the YouTube video, I've had it playing in the background the entire time. It is an incredible website. So, yeah, ShaqMack.com. And on social media?
No social media.
No social media. Okay.
No social media. YouTube, ShaqMack.com. We dropped 10 videos last year.
And they're pretty badass.
Thank you. Spotify, Shaq Mack. SHAQ space MACK, Apple Music, Shaq Mack, Amazon, Tidal, just any streaming platform.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right. Don't forget about us.
Nah, y'all don't forget about me, man.
No, we won't do it.
I'm still a little man. Yes, sir.
All right, Fort Worth Roots. Thank y'all so much for being here with me and Shaq Mack today. We will see you next week. Later. Hey, let's go get some fish. That's sincere. Thank you to our friend Shaq Mack coming back on the show. Shows us that you found value in it the first time you were here and you didn't get scared off by me the first time. Y'all stay tuned to the very end. I've got a track by Shaq Mack and Westside Boogie that he allowed me to play for you, showcasing some of the wonderful art coming out of the Loyal Dreams Entertainment label. Find all their information at ShaqMack.com. Dude, this website is awesome. If you watch the video, you'll see it playing in the background the whole time, the website design, the video that plays through it. Just really cool. Anyway, I'm going to get with his designer and have them build me a badass website like that. Very cool stuff. Anyway, ShaqMack.com. Again, thank you to our sponsors, Halk Walker Originals, Wood Post Metalworks. Check them out at woodpostmetalworks.com, and Halk Walker Originals can be found at halkwalker.com. And of course, Roofing Solutions by Darren Halk. All this stuff is in the show notes. But if you forget, Roofing Solutions, Halk.com is their website. And their phone number is 817-882-6520. Thank you to our sponsors. And we have room for more. You can sponsor the podcast, or you can just sponsor us at the event. And that event coming up for us is September the 10th. That's going to be on a Saturday. And the more sponsorship we pick up, the more we're going to put into what we're providing to the community. Right now, it's looking like it's going to be a great turnout. We've got some incredible people supporting us and helping us put this whole thing together. So it's not just going to be one nerdy podcaster faking it until he makes it. I've got people that have done this stuff before. Mickey Wendell, she runs the Artful Village, so the pop-up market is going to be professional and very well put together. Joe Guzman's coming out to handle the sound, so the sound is going to be on point. We've got some incredible bands, so it's not going to be me up there on stage playing a banjo. Like I said, we've got Itchy Richie and the Burning Sensations, Late to the Station with Carrie and Paul Smith, and then The Gray with Mark Cusin. So it's going to be a good time. Scott, the owner out there at Pouring Glory, is putting together a special menu for us, along with some special drink prices. And I'm telling you guys, I was really nervous about this, and now I'm just excited because we've got so many awesome people working hard to make sure that this is a perfect event for you. A really fun time. And it would mean a lot to me if you show up September 10th, that Saturday. We're going to be taking pictures of the whole group, probably about midway through one of the performances or something. I'm going to hold up everything, and I'm going to have everybody just kind of tighten up the shot group, bring everybody into frame, and take a picture. And that's going to be the next new backdrop for everything we do at Fort Worth Roots, just showing showing the support that we get from the local community, and what an event looks like whenever the podcasters really show out. I've got a lot more details that I'm working on. We're not done making this a great event. There's going to be more to cover in the future. Something I'm trying to get together is making sure that you guys have a badass goodie bag when you walk in the door. And what does that mean? I don't know yet, but it's going to depend on sponsorship. So working on it. Working on it. If you got any questions, if you'd like to sponsor the show, if you have any suggestions, you can email me at media@fortworthroots.com. But you already know that because you listen to the show all the time, and I appreciate it. Every single time you download even one episode, it shows up on our analytics, and it helps the show. If you'd like to do something else to help the show, you can go to any of your social medias, whichever one you like scrolling through while you're sitting on the toilet, letting your legs fall asleep. Go to that one and pull up Fort Worth Roots. We're on it. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, all the stuff. We're there. You just look for Fort Worth Roots. And our website, of course, is fortworthroots.com. I'm doing the thing where I just ramble. Right. Okay. This was a great episode. Shaq, thank you again. And I'm going to shut up now and play some amazing art by our guest. And hopefully we'll have Shaq Mack on real soon again to kind of give us the breakdown of this upcoming album here in October. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget, shaqmack.com to see all his art. And you can also find some really cool videos that he shot with some help of some friends of his on YouTube. So, okay. I'll be quiet now. Thank y'all for being here, and I will see you next week. Stay tuned. Here we go. Here's the music from Shaq Mack. All right. Okay. All right. Bye.
Yeah. Whoa. Oh, shit. I'm on the road, yeah. Trying to get home, yeah. What do you know? I never go broke, shit. I'm full of gold, yeah. Know that my heart can turn into rock, they keep throwing stones, yeah. Don't want alone, yeah. Know what I'm owed.
I'm on the road, yeah. Trying to get home, yeah. What do you know? I never go broke, shit. I'm full of gold, yeah. Know that my heart can turn the rocks, they keep throwing stones, yeah. I do it alone, yeah. Know what I'm owed.
Oh, shit. Self-worth. Lately been thinking about self-worth. All you and all, you handled the fall. That shit you ain't know till you fell first. Self-worth. Lately been thinking about self-worth. Shit, you gon' force me to wear all these feelings, and I'ma say fuck it and sell merch. You're meant to a prison, I see you with guilt, and look at you sitting. Oh shit, like who the magician that's tricking my niggas up out of position? Oh shit, now I'm conflicted again. My granny was broke, but still more peace than all of my riches and friends. Whoa, better start living again.
I'm on the road, yeah. Trying to get home, yeah. What do you know? I never go broke, shit. I'm full of gold, yeah. Know that my heart can turn the rocks, they keep throwing stones, yeah. I do it alone, yeah. Know what I'm owed.
I'm on the road, yeah. Trying to get home, yeah. What do you know? I never go broke, shit. I'm full of gold, yeah. Know that my heart can turn into rock, they keep throwing stones, yeah. Don't want alone, yeah. Know what I'm owed.
Been trying to find the balance with my inner peace. Phone steady buzzing, watch it ring. Shit, I ain't trying to speak. Reflecting on the times forgot, reflecting on the ones we lost. Life came centerfold, too much to wrap my mind across. But oh Lord, had to leave the world, attend to myself. Felt no help, just reflecting while my thoughts manifest. Asked myself, what it mean to be rich? Looked at the mirror, told myself I lose you. Being rich will never mean shit.
Does it even matter at all?
Hey, why you upset?
I said, nothing even matters at all.
You know it don't matter, baby. I'm on the road, yeah. Trying to get home, yeah. What do you know? I never go broke, shit. I'm full of gold, yeah. Know that my heart can turn the rocks, they keep throwing stones, yeah. I do it alone, yeah. Know what I'm owed.